Welcome back to 5-Minute Knives. As you can see, today I'm wearing gloves. Today, we're going to be talking about the Dutch Bushcraft Challenge. DBK. I really like watching their channel. These guys are idiots. They're hilarious. I like them a lot. I think they're funny. I've watched a lot of their stuff. Very, very informative, particularly on sharpening and stropping. They have certainly taught me a couple of things over the years, I'm not ashamed to admit. Some of their videos are just a little off the wall, but I appreciate that. It's not the same old stuff like this channel. So recently, the boys at DBK have issued a challenge to their viewership, that includes me, where they asked, what 3 knives in your collection would you keep if you could only have 3 knives? So I thought about it I ruminated for days, and this is what I came up with. These 3 knives here. Now, it is a little contingent because this is the new Architect 6.5. You guys saw my review and battle on that. It is contingent. I don't know the warranty on this one. I don't think it's lifetime warranty. So if we're selecting our 3 knives while there's still rule of law, I would substitute the 6.5 for the SE6 because this has a lifetime warranty. But based on just the knives themselves, let's get everything off here. We'll go one at a time. We'll take our time here. As you can see, I have 1 folding blade and 2 fixed blades. And here's my thinking, okay? Oh, also gloves by Strong Suit, Intech MFG. I think I got them at my local gun shop. They caught my eye. I tried them on. I really like it. These are in the large. My hands are large. A little bit of room to breathe. These guys fold up nicely and they ride in my tack vest. So if I ever have to go to work, I just take my gloves out. I can still use my phone. And I still have a good bit of dexterity. And the reason that I'm wearing these gloves today is because I've been making Kydex sheaths, and I've been burning and cutting myself as I bumble through it. But this is one of my new designs. This is the Apollo sheath. The Apollo scabbard, excuse me. I'm going with Greek mythology on my stuff. And this clip is really interesting. Check it out. This is for the SE6. I'm going to get to the 3 knives soon. But look, we have nice retention, right? And this baby balances. I don't know if you can see, but this is about a 1/2 inch off the ground, so it's got a really nice presentation when you're not using it. I don't know if I'm going to take on customers, guys, but I'm a user. This thing rides really nice. My shirt can tuck between the clip and this, which actually silences everything. It rides at a nice height. I really love this. If you wanted to take this black sleeve off, this actually goes with, this will work with Tech Lock and most other mounting hardware. Follow us at 5-Minute Knives on Instagram. Little drainage hole. I think we talked about this, but I don't know if I want to get into a whole rigmarole making sheaths for customers. However, there is a big demand now. So in the knives I have in stock, if you guys want a sheath made, and again, these are like really good retention. I love the way it just balances on its own. I don't know if that's showing up on camera properly, but it is nice. It rides really nice, and I like a fold-over sheath because I don't like this big pancake. You know, like this is great, and you guys know that I also made this sheath. And this is cool too, but it's just a lot of real estate. I like a thinner profile. As the older I get, everything gets thinner and lighter. So just a thought, no big deal. I'm going to put this off to the side. We'll get back to my 3 knives. Assuming there is no rule of law and nobody can, back up my warranty, I won't go with the SE6 and I will go with the Architect 6.5. Why? Because of the grind. And this thing is so comfortable in hand, uses the SE6 scales. The grind itself will lend itself to splitting wood a little bit better than the SE6 will. I like the finish on this better than that granular powder coat you get on your SE6s. So this is good for a variety of tasks. I prefer a choil on my bigger knives like this. If we get into a 5-inch blade, lose the choil because I want to do the close work. On anything 6 inches or over, give me the choil back. The jimping's a little strong on this, but again, now I got gloves on. It's a non-issue. That's the only hot spot on this whole knife is this jimping. I forgot to mention it in my review. But look at that finish. A working finish, a tumbled working finish. A wicked edge on this guy. Man, I got this to a razor sharp edge. Just with a little bit of ceramic work. Thank you to DBK for inspiring me on my stropping. So this is my pick for doing the work. Okay? Great sheath from theknifeconnection.com. If you buy it, if you buy this knife, tell them 5-Minute Knives sent you. Owner Dale, really nice guy. I'd like to take credit. Okay, so that's off to the side. Now we're going to go to a folding knife. And this one's going to be controversial. Everybody's got their folding knife that they love. But for me, and there's many other folding knives that I love. But for some reason, the Manix 2 in G10, it's a bit heavier. I really don't like the lightweight FRN or whatever it is scales. It just feels cheap to me. This guy has always felt rugged, reliable, solid. I mean, really great. S30V steel. I had to look at it again. It's been a while. This is made in Golden, Colorado. One of the first knives I bought in Colorado 5 years ago when I moved here. Great lockup. Kind of like a generic Axis lock. Never failed me once. It's not drop free. The clip has never loosened up on me. I did put a little orange pop of color on this lanyard in the pocket. So this is not like like a last ditch scrapper. This is my everyday tasks, and this is to pair with my shelter building and my wood splitting and all that other stuff. And again, we're going to go past 5 minutes because this is the DBK challenge. We could talk about 3 knives here. So there's my pick. A 3-inch blade. This is legal everywhere. That's another consideration. Now, again, is there rule of law? Is there no rule of law? They did not specify. So if there is rule of law, especially this, because I'm not going to get harassed. No rule of law, then it doesn't matter. But again, a 4-inch knife, it's starting to get a little unruly for your small tasks. Really precise point. That flat grind is great. Look, I've owned this knife for 5 years. This is the wear on it. No big deal. This finish has really held up. Fits my hand like a glove, and you guys are going to kill me. I prefer this over the Para 2. And there's a lot of debate about that, and it really comes down to compression lock versus this Genera Axis lock. The catch to this is you need 2, on the front and back I'm pulling down, and there is a bit of tension there. And you can, if you want to, put a little more force. You can even open it like that. I mean, it's cool. I had the Manix 2 XL for a while. I'm going to start a segment on the channel called Blades of the Past. And it's all the knives I got rid of that I've owned. And I don't want to buy them again just for the review, but we'll talk about them because I'm running out of gear, so mine's well. But look, this is a really great knife. Look at the clip wear. It's actually getting cooler as time goes on, in my opinion. I love the lockup on this. I have a fair amount of pocket knives. Now, you guys that watch the channel regularly know that I'm a user these days. I was a collector at one point, got into financial mischief, and had to sell off my knives. Broke my heart. But it opened the door for me being a user. And what that entails is that the only knives in my collection, for the most part, unless they're gifts or something else, have a place. They either ride in a certain bag, I have a function in mind for them, and the ones that don't, they get sold. They move on. So before they do, we'll do a review to help and better the channel. But I'm a user these days. So it's a different world. So there's that. There's my first 2 knives. Now, for my third knife, I thought about, okay, I have shelter building. I have my everyday tasks. Also Gray Man, I can kind of walk around with that, not get in trouble if there's rule of law. What's my scrapper knife? What's the knife that I would take, maybe even defend my home with, or if I'm a little cranky, right? And I thought about this at length, and I have several of those. I'm a bit of a mall ninja in that way, where, the 14-year-old in me just sees a badass knife and I just have to own it, even if it doesn't have a purpose. But this particular knife, not only does it have a purpose, but it also is now discontinued. And I'm talking about the Becker BK5. I got rid of my BK9 before I did the review, and it was semi-custom. That was dumb of me. I should have reviewed it. We'll talk about it, though, eventually. But the BK5, I got a tech lock on there. Normally, I rock this Scout carry. I've been alternating. So now, notice, I made this sheath, by the way. Really good retention, like perfect retention. But notice, little oil on the blade. That's how she likes it. 1095 steel. Same as the Architect 6.5 and your SE6. However, Becker's heat treat is not a Rowan heat treat, and it's not a Tops heat treat. This baby will chip. Fight me in the comments. I really don't care. My Becker BK9 chipped on me, and this is the same kind of stuff. And it comes with really crappy scales. I replaced the scales with these G10 scales from guess where? Guess where? TheKnifeConnection.com. And now what that's done effectively is these scales are much heavier than the ones they came with. It still has that swell in there. But what we've done is we've moved the POB, the point of balance, down. Okay, so we're right. Guys, the POB is in the handle. And anybody that knows knives, let's see if we can balance here. I'm on camera and I'm reaching around this thing. Okay, right there is the POB, right above this rivet. So that's your POB, right where this knuckle is. Now, anybody that knows anything about Japanese blades or anything like that, when you move the point of balance, what does that do? That makes the blade a lot more lively. We also have this swedge here. It's to break bones, I'm told. And this is a good hunter's knife. This is a good skinner knife, although a little bit long. It's a great food prep knife. Some people use it for that. The finish has held up reasonably well, but as I sharpen it, it's coming off. And that's okay. I don't mind. This is not something... Now, I said I was a user, but that also means that the knives need to have a function. It doesn't mean I need to use them every day. I have never used this for anything important. Ever. But with this like bird's beak handle and this flat pommel, my less than lethal option, right? This little pop of orange. And then like the weight reducing swedge... With that sweep at a 9-inch blade, I could actually do away with the choil. I don't need a choil on this one, because who cares about doing fine work? Unless you're doing that food prep, maybe. This is my scrapper, guys. Back in the sheath. Boom. Pretty sheath by me, right? And this is before I got good at it, even. A little bit of hardware on there. So how I have this riding is on my right side, vertical carry, and I have the sheath retention loose enough where I can draw, and this is one of the few knives I will draw in reverse grip because I have that extra length. I do not rock my karambits in reverse grip because I don't like putting my index finger in a hole to break it if I fall or somebody grabs it from me. But with a big old fixed blade like this, no problem, Jack. And this is mainly my home defense. So this rides next to my bed, next to my firearm, next to my my EDC lights, my home light. So that's that. So these are my 3 knives, the Dutch Bushcraft Challenge. I don't know if these guys are going to see it, but I love your channel. You goofballs. You know, I try to show my girlfriend this stuff, and she laughs. You know, they're so ridiculous. But anyway, so here it is. Dutch Bushcraft Challenge. The Architect 6.5, assuming there's no rule of law. The Mannix, regular, in G10 S30V steel. And the Becker, now discontinued, BK5 for my ninjas and you know, the Vikings coming after me. So this is it. I'm building shelter. My everyday tasks, defend myself. I can't think of a better 3 for me anyway, at least not in my current collection. So this is it. Guys, post your DBK challenge videos. Tag 5-Minute Knives in it too. I'd love to see what you guys are doing. Tag me on Instagram, 5-Minute Knives with the number 5. And let me know what your 3 knives are because I'm really curious. This is something I want feedback on. Leave it in the comments. You know, I don't really care if you guys are rude in the comments. It's kind of funny. The algorithm likes it just the same, but try to be nice to each other. Just because I don't feel like arguing with you guys. It's not Facebook. And we're the knife community. We're not the firearm community, although there's some overlap. The firearm community likes to argue. The knife community is generally chill. Tell me what 3 knives you would pick if you can only have 3 knives for the rest of your life. And good luck. So thank you to everybody that subscribed to the channel, followed us on Instagram, been hanging out, leaving comments that actually make me think. That's what I appreciate. Guys, I'm no expert, so your feedback is actually really helping me curate my collection and turning me on to knives I never would have thought of. So keep it coming, man. Like, this is interactive. I like this. So anyway, we'll see you next time on 5-Minute Knives.